COVID-19 has brought the world to a standstill and completely disrupted the economic landscape. Let's do a three-point analysis to really find out if liquidity can fix the broken correlation between economy and stock markets with respect to the mother market, US. 1. Disconnect between the economy and markets. Well, if you see, US GDP for Q1 2020 contracted much sharper than anticipated by 4.8% as demand was severely hit. While Q2 GDP is forecast to plunge by 35 to 40% quarter on quarter due to a steep drop in consumer spending, the rally in the stock market is quite perplexing considering the moribund state of the world economy at this point in time. Amidst the mayhem, the US indices just clocked their best month ever in April, and Nasdaq is just 5% away from its lifetime highs. Now, the reversal in market sentiments is mainly on account of, say, massive liquidity injections by the central banks around the world, and also, if you really see, the Federal Reserve has injected nearly US dollars of 3 trillion in the last 10 weeks alone, and its balance sheet is touching a record of US dollars of 7 trillion. Now, as the central bank is also buying assets to keep the debt and the equity markets afloat amid the free fall in the economic activity. 2. Can monetary and fiscal stimulus measures fix the economy? Well, central banks have started printing money to stabilize the asset prices and to stimulate growth through inflation. Now, the strategy was really successful during the 2008 global financial crisis. Low interest rates coupled with the central bank asset purchases restored confidence in the businesses as well. Now, the current situation appears more complex on multiple accounts. First of all, the preliminary economic damage due to COVID-19 is quite massive. Moreover, the central banks also need to very selectively be in expansion of their balance sheets and also calibrate their liquidity boosters to really different states as well as the asset classes. Now, inadequate or delayed expansion puts the environment at risk of deflation, and printing billions of dollars overnight would inevitably lead to violent swings and hyperinflation in some of the asset classes, which could eventually collapse both the purchasing power and also have an adverse impact on the currency market as well. Now, the economic growth depends not only on the monetary base but also on the velocity of circulation or transactions. Now, since the velocity is inversely correlated with debt, printing money doesn't always drive demand. Now, the velocity was hovering near 60-year lows and is expected to drop further as flow of money collapses during the recessionary phases. Now, also, the term unlimited QE is actually a misnomer. In reality, the program is limited by global demand for US dollars. Now, if you see, the crisis in markets had triggered a global rush for dollars as it's the most widely accepted trade currency. Now, the Fed also will continue to support the markets till the time there is a shortage of US dollars in the market. Now, countries with large forex reserves would actually be able to meet their dollar commitments through currency swaps. Now, if you really see, however, weaker economies could still be staring at a potential currency crisis as they would really find it extremely difficult to meet their trade obligations at this point in time. 3. What is the way forward then for the markets especially? Well, the stock market rebound is centered on hopes for coronavirus containment and also the monetary and fiscal stimulus measures. Now, if you see, the biggest downside risk is the transition of a liquidity crisis into a solvency crisis. The firms cannot survive no matter how much they can borrow as they need more revenues to make profits, and central banks cannot solve that problem per se. Now, investors would continue to struggle to build market conviction against the new emerging short-term risks of, say, negative interest rates, upcoming presidential elections in the US, fears of a second wave of infections, etc. Now, the market would continue to be range-bound for some time for now. The insolvency phase will begin once the aid programs are withdrawn gradually and demand does not rebound as anticipated. Now, the fear of these events could actually trigger a retest of the March lows later this year.